Do you know anything about herbs?
I'm not an expert, but I know a little something. Is it urgent?
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some purple flowers that would...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains.
How about some potions to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly, the old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep, and sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. What happened to Philip?
Philip?
He's unconscious. He's shivering and he has a fever.
Ah, I didn't know that. When he first came here, he was fine. No wounds on him. He was escorting the others. Then he got worse and worse until he lost consciousness entirely. Ask Johanka. Maybe she'll know more.
It's done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there alone?
Not a leaf wasted.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm going to check with my own eyes.
What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
Well, fine. Try it then.
One of the sick men, Semek, is complaining about pain and the fact he can't work. He says he...
Semek? Is he one of our people?
No, he's a construction worker. He's bruised and confined to...
Henry, for God's sake, our neighbours are dying here. Your friends. There isn't time to waste on some construction worker's bruises. Oh, honestly, what were you thinking?
Listen, all I need to find out is the name of a herb.
Then go and look it up in a book. You've got your own herbarium, haven't you?
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned...
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go.
Tell me more about the situation. All right, that's all I need to know.
you satisfied with my reading?
You're a fine fellow. Truly, I couldn't have done a better job myself. You're a herbalist at heart. Here's the reward. You earned it.
Are you holding him firmly?
Done. You've got no business here, you're just in the way.
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
The Overseer sent me. You're to show me the place where the accident happened.
Like I've got time to spare to show you round. He should have done it himself. Why do you want to know, anyway?
Because of the Talmberg stones. If they really are delivering poor quality material, then there should be consequences.
I'd be interested in what kind. But I'm guessing the Overseer likes the idea of cheaper stone, right?
And have you noticed anything else going on?
Of course. It's a construction site. Things are always going wrong. The men are always complaining and the work isn't being done fast enough.
So it's just like any other building work?
Essentially, yes. Occasionally someone brings in bad wood or a man cuts off his thumb and blames it on a bad omen. And then there's all these rumors going round.
I'd be interested to know what the men talk about.
Who's been stealing, which men from the monastery go to visit women, how the work's going, normal things. It's only the talk about the curse that's not in the normal run of things. And then there's that devil's skull they dug up.
Who's stealing? Could someone be stealing the stone?
According to the rumors, everyone, from the abbot and the custodian down to the lowest laborer. It's like with whores and dice. There's no protection against slander. And something gets lost here and there, that's true. But nobody stole any stone. There wouldn't be any left if every man here started helping himself, would there?
You talked about the devil's skull.
I did. They say it was found in the hole dug for the foundation of the scaffolding. They moved it so it would do its harm elsewhere. But I wasn't there to see it, so I don't know.
And who might know more?
Shouldn't you be investigating the stone? Leszek's in charge of the scaffolding, so ask him if you really have to know. He might tell you something.
Where's the scene of the accident?
It didn't happen on the main site. It was at the outbuilding next to the church, right under the long stairs before the entrance door. Ask my assistant who's in charge there. You'll easily recognize him. He dresses up like he owns the place.
Hey, watch it! Can't remember you.
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
Did you see the accident that happened here?
I didn't see it. I was down at the bottom and I heard something rumble and then screams. I ran up and helped to carry him out.
Did you notice anything suspicious?
Like what? A lot of people came down to see what was happening. Even a butcher dripping with blood wouldn't have attracted any attention in that mob.
I am honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
Did you see the accident that happened here?
I didn't see it. I was down at the bottom and I heard something rumble and then screams. I ran up and helped to carry him out.
Did you notice anything suspicious?
No, I didn't. All I saw was a man with his head caved in, lying trembling. I never want to see anything like that again in my life.
I'm honoured that you should come to me.
I heard you found something.
It's true. I dug it up during work. I then ran away with it and got rid of it so the others wouldn't see. But rumours spread anyway.
And what was it that nobody was supposed to see?
What do you think? A demon skull.
Here, on holy ground, in the middle of the monastery.
But it was outside the monastery walls.
Where exactly? Is there anything else there worth seeing?
Nothing but scaffolding. We started digging there to set foundations for extending it.
And are you sure it was a devil's skull?
I know what I saw. I can recognise the human skull. This one had horns, like the devil. Besides, that thing gave off a diabolical stink.
And where is it now? What did you do with it?
I was taking it down to the river to throw it in. Only I dropped it at the top of the slope and it rolled downhill. The devil alone knows where it ended up.
I'll see if I can find it.
Stone fell on him here. You can still see the marks. This has to be the stone that hit him. I'll take a piece of it. Maybe someone will recognize it. Just as I thought. There aren't any remains here. Looks ordinary. A bit too ordinary.
looks genuine, but I'm not capable of judging.
God be with you.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
She has a kind heart. Everyone can see how deeply she cares about the wounded. If you help her selflessly, it'll win her over. She's bound to be impressed.
Maybe you're right. It will cost me something, but I'll discuss it with Nicodemus. I should be able to help in some way. you up to? Thief! Guard, come here, quick! There's a thief over there! What do you think you're doing? I've a mind to call the guards.
I have a mind to call the guards.
Watch your step, brother.
Good day to you.
Where's the knacker in Sasau?
He lives between the Rathaus and the church.
Thank you.
I'm at your service.
This is the block that fell on him.
And what am I supposed to see? I don't know anything about stone.
Well, you've taken delivery of stone before. Surely you can tell one kind from another.
Oh, I can't remember details like that. Ask someone who really handles the stone. Hey!
I am at your service, Sir Knight.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
The Lady of Talmberg sent me. She wants me to find out why the crown's been delayed.
Through no fault of ours, I can tell you that. We had a large stone ordered for mounting on the crown, a beautiful Moldavite from South Bohemia that we had cut and polished in Prague. But, well, in short, the good merchant, Martin Vizek, who was supposed to bring it from Prague, got lost along the way. It's like the ground swallowed him up.
Well, Lady Stephanie won't be happy.
Look, we've got something else here we can replace the stone with, but I'm sure even you can see it's not worthy of a noble wedding, and definitely not worthy of our fine craftsmanship. Oh, if I only had someone who'd try to find the Moldavite.
Why don't you just ask me? Of course I'll try to find the stone. Just tell me where the fellow was seen last.
That fellow, as you call him, the esteemed merchant, Martin Vizek, was last seen riding alongside the Sasau River, passing by the footbridge over the ford, to the west of here. Evidently, he never made it to Sasau town.
Well, I'll look for him, but he could be far over the mountains by now. Or under the ground.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
I'm looking for the master engraver. Do you know where I can find him?
He's probably in his workshop in the monastery courtyard.
Are you...
Good health to you.
I'm looking for the master engraver.
He's probably in...
I am honoured that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
Do you want something?
I do. And you look like the kind of fellow who knows a thing or two and wouldn't mind a bit of work that's not entirely, well, honest.
What's it about?
I'm looking for someone who knows how to dip her pockets. For a reward, of course.
Well, then it's lucky for you that I happened along. Who do you want me to rob?
There's a farmer who lives in the craftsman's yard. He made a killing supplying vegetables to the monastery. I worked for him for a while, but then he threw me out without even paying me for my labour. I'd like you to steal the groschen he owes me. And, also, a pouch containing an amulet he got from the herb woman. He's as superstitious as an old crone, so when he realises he's lost it, he'll have a fit.
Sounds easy enough.
It ain't quite that easy, otherwise I'd handle it myself. That fucker don't trust no one, and he's always looking over his shoulder. If you manage to nick his pouch and his coin, you can keep the groschen as a reward.
But I wasn't sure Betty would even want to sell them. So I asked for a high price, and he says, "That's fine," and started counting the coin right there and then.
Just like that? What I heard about him, he's a right skinflint. And what did Betty have to say?
Well, she was well pleased, as you can imagine. Even more when I told her Tonda will take everything she makes.
That's great. A bit of extra coin never hurts.
What the hell?
Isn't that...
What? Shit, Henry!
Henry! Here!
Henry!
I'm glad to see you.
Matthew! Fritz! You're alive!
Of course we're alive.
You can't get rid of us that easily.
I'm almost surprised how happy I am to see the pair of you are all right.
We are now, but we barely made it.
Yeah, it was hard. Fritz ran like a little girl.
Really?
Bollocks! Bloody joker.
Tell us what happened to you.
They gave me a pretty good thrashing as well. It was only in Rattay that I got back in my right mind.
And I see you're not doing too badly for yourself. What are you up to?
Right now, I'm a squire for Sir Radzig.
I see you've worked your way up.
And how are you two getting by?
It's shit.
You said it. We're still chopped off to bits. Owe the monastery a bundle. And there's no work here.
Not for anyone with more than half a brain, anyway.
Well, you two and work never got along. But don't tell me that they're not in need of carpenters. They're reconstructing the monastery.
They don't want us there.
And there's nothing else around here.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to know of anything?
It will really help us out right now.
I'll find you something. You can rely on me.
Thanks, Henry.
We'll pay off the debt. Don't you worry.
And where would they hire you to?
Well, we were carpenters in the mines, so wherever they work with wood, I suppose. Forget about construction. After Skalitz, no one will be building for a long time. Just here in Sasau, and they don't want us here. The best chance we have is to work at a mill. People always have to eat. Ideally, we're looking for a job that pays a lot and doesn't require much work.
What other neighbours of ours made it?
Your hunker's in the monastery. That girl really helped us out. That's about all we know. When we ran for it, we helped Teresa, but who knows where she is now? We got separated.
I was the one who helped her get out of Skalitz. She lives with her uncle in a mill in Rattay.
I'm glad she survived. Since you know her so well, why not try asking her if she knows about any work?
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
Are there any problems around here I might be able to help with?
Well, it depends what you're willing to do. There was one troublemaker around here not long ago, but we dealt with him. He was selling some relics and he claimed were miraculous, but it was nothing but worthless trinkets. The villagers sent the bloody swindler packing so fast you couldn't see his heels for dust. All the way to the Dechko, I believe. I reckon he won't last long there either. And there's another thing. Try asking at the monastery. Sometimes the monk needs someone who can handle more secular affairs. That's all I can think of.
Can I sleep here?
All right. For how long?
Just the one night?
All right. Money up front, though.
Here you are.
You'll like it here. Like sleeping on a cloud it is.
Where do I go to sleep?
On the upper floor of the inn. There's steps up to it outside. The middle room is yours.
Kuttenberg is far, far away. Kuttenberg is far, here I'll stay. My
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
They say you're the best blacksmith in the whole region. That metal you've tempered never breaks.
Ah, nothing but old wives' tales. Of course some of my pieces have broken, but only ever here, at the smithy.
No one's ever returned anything for you to rework, though, have they?
Not that I recall, but I can't remember everything.
Father was a blacksmith all my life. He always stoked up the furnace till it roared gently, and you could smell the heated iron. Then he plunged it into the water, and that was that.
Fine words, and no mistake. I do it a little differently. I heat until the metal is 2-3 shades short of bright yellow. I ease up on the bellows, and after a Lord's Prayer and a Hail Mary, off it goes into the water.
It's strange to think that I'll never help him out with it again. Our forge will stay burned out forever, unless I go back to the trade myself.
It would be a shame not to, lad. Working iron is a worthwhile thing. Godly. It makes life easier for folk. And, let's be honest, you can make a decent living doing it.
Thank you. It was good to remember how my life used to be.
Maybe you'll have the good fortune to return to your trade.
I'd like to ask you about the tempering process.
And I'd say I've nothing much to tell you. You just need an eye for it and a furnace.
Let's stop talking about tempering. And when you quench, there's nothing special you do?
Well, that depends. I heat it up again after that, but not so it starts to glow. I just hold it like this at the edge of the furnace for a while and then quench it again.
You quench twice?
Yes, although there's less quenching needed the second time. It doesn't get quite so hot.
And how does that help?
I don't rightly know. I found out about it by chance. I got caught short, needed to piss so bad I left the rod resting by the furnace by mistake. That's how I found out if you quench twice, it doesn't break as easily. No idea why, but I've tried it enough times to know it works.
I'd like to ask you...
And I'd say...
Let's stop talking. I've heard it said that you're a warlock.
What? Why the fuck would they say that?
They say when you temper steel, you chant spells, and then nothing of yours ever breaks.
Spells? That's a good one. It's no spell, just a rhyme to time myself so I don't hold the steel hair too long.
Do you know how the blacksmith does his tempering?
You'll have to ask him yourself. I help him out here and there, but I could never do his work for him.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Why is the blacksmith muttering nonsense to himself? Has he been in the sun too long?
Oh, that's nothing. Just a silly little rhyme for his work, to time it right.
Oh, I see. I thought he was delirious.
No, he's like that all the time.
My respects to you.
Any chance of some work?
Well, come to think, there is one rather delicate matter to attend to. A while ago, a holy man came by here. He said he'd come from the Holy Land, and he was selling various relics he'd collected on his travels to pay his way.
I see.
Well, I heard he had some fragments of a sacred sword that once belonged to the fabled Czech Queen of Sheba. But by the time he reached me, he had no pieces left of the sword. All he had was some dubious wares, splinters from our Lord's cross, thorns from the crown, nothing of interest to me.
And where did the pieces of the sword go?
He sold them off to swordsmiths and blacksmiths hereabouts. They just keep them lying around at home for good luck. If I had them, I'd forge them back into a sword. Can you even imagine what power it would command? If you could get me all the pieces of the sword, I'd repay you very handsomely.
Are you sure the Queen of Sheba's a Czech queen?
Who else would she be? Have you not heard of her? Ask some priest. She's in the Bible.
Uh-huh. Isn't it a bit strange that some pilgrim would have something so valuable?
Are you suggesting he might have been lying? Well, people aren't to be trusted, but this is nothing to joke about. God would smite him in a flash if he made light of holy relics that way.
What kind of power did this sword have?
What do you think? It brought its bearer good luck in combat and protection from enemies.
Where can I find the parts?
Like I said, the smith hereabouts bought them from him. They say the largest piece is with the Ratai swordsmith. The bastard probably won't want to sell. But if you manage to swipe it somehow...
I could do with a sword like that. What if you sold it to me?
Well, everything has its price, but this one would be expensive. Getting hold of the bits is one thing. Forging them back together is quite another. That tinkerer from Ratai couldn't manage it.
Well, it does sound very interesting. I'll ask them and see what I can do.
Excellent. You'll see you won't regret it. I'll pay you well.
About that...
My breath is short, my feet are sore, I buy a horse, I fall.
I'm interested in your services.
And what is it you'd like?
Get myself fixed up a bit. Have a bath and get my clothes washed.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied.
I'll slay you, you... Come here, lily liver. You call that combat?
Stop and have a word with me. It would help me greatly.
What is it then?
It's about this. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
What?
You heard? Don't try to wriggle out of it. Let's get to it.
I'm not in the habit of fighting to the death with fellows I meet by chance on the road. Tell me first what this is all about.
What's happening is I'm challenging you to a duel. You disgusting man. I spit in your face.
Eager, aren't you? Who are you, anyway?
I am Sir Oldbrum of Lossany.
Pleased to meet you, Sir Oldbrum. So, what are you after?
My mother sent me out to get some experience. She's obsessed with tales of chivalrous knights. In short, she sent me off looking for some virgin to save, and to win glory in combat. But I have to admit, I'm not very good at it.
You can't duel with someone just like that. There has to be a reason.
But I thought knights fight for their honour, don't they?
I suppose so. Only I'm not a knight. We ought to fight for something more substantial.
Like what?
You have a fine sword. We could fight for that.
But what would I do without my sword if you win?
Don't you have a spare one?
I do, as it happens.
There you are then. Let's get to it.
Wait, well, what about me? What do I get if I win?
I'm giving you a chance to fight for honour. That's a valuable thing, isn't it? Let's get to it.
Wonderful.
Ah! Ah!
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I've got some goods here whose owners might miss them.
All right. Let's see what we can do about that.
Let's talk about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Here you are, with a little top-up.
Well now, thank you very much.
Hey! Carrot!
Good day, Henry.
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Well, we can try it.
Good day, Henry.
What about this?
That sounds pretty interesting. A little less and I'll be satisfied.
Welcome, Henry.
Finally, a reasonable sum.
How are you, Henry?
God save you.
Matthew and Fritz send their regards.
They survived. My God, I'm glad. They helped me out a lot. And where did you see them?
In Sasau. I bumped into them in front of the tavern. Where else?
And how are they doing?
They're doing fine. The monks brought them back to health. But they don't have work, and they're in debt. You wouldn't happen to know of any jobs going for two lazy carpenters?
Not here. And I think it will be the same in all of Ratai. It's overcrowded with refugees, and they're all looking for work.
God save you, Henry.
That's bad. Those two need work badly. To keep them out of mischief. You know what they're like.
I do indeed. Try the mills in the smaller hamlets. The miller in Ledechko is old. Maybe he could use some strong hands.
I will. Thanks.
God be with you, Henry.
Henry, I'm glad you came.
Let's talk about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Satisfied?
It's not worth it to me.
God save you, Henry.
Aye, that would do it.
I'd like to make use of the bathhouse's services.
Uh-huh. And what do you want?
Get myself...
I'm sure you'll...
God be with you.
I'm honored that you should come to me.
I've heard that some time ago a pilgrim from the Holy Land was selling a few relics. Did he come by here and offer you part of a sword?
Would it surprise you if I said yes? Why do you ask?
I'd buy the piece from you.
Well, why not? I don't know why I let myself get bamboozled into buying it. It's quite useless, and I can't say I've had good luck ever since.
Agree?
You won't convince me with that.
Master Blacksmith, I think I know how the tempering gets done in Sasau.
And what have you found out? Don't keep me on tenterhooks. Out with it.
That chant of his is a sort of nursery rhyme. He uses it to time his heating and quenching.
Well, there we are. I thought those rumours about casting spells were a load of nonsense. And do you recall this little rhyme of his?
Maybe, but that's not all. He heats the metal twice.
Twice? Why would he do that?
You'll have to ask him that. But the second time it didn't hiss, although he heated it. And that rhyme of his, it went something like this. The sun sets out across the skies. He loses his way, to the forge he flies.
That sounds like the start of something.
The sun he hides behind a cloud. His heat goes cold and his fire goes out.
And that's how the second part begins, is it?
The sun is high, the breath is short, the road is long, it seems to me.
That was the first part. Now the second.
And that's all. That's the way it went.
That's not right. I counted it out, and that's certainly no way to temper anything. You must have made a mistake.
But I'm sure... Well, I suppose.
This can't be right. Maybe you should go back and listen again.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Is there any work here for carpenters?
Are they locals?
From Skalitz?
Then no. I only take in people I know. The best of health.
Here, enjoy it.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
Can I sleep?
All right. For how long?
Just the one.
Sure.
Here you go.
You'll like it here.
Where do I go to?
That's easy. As soon as you go indoors, at the end of the room... God be with you.
What was that?
You've been working at the mill for a while now, haven't you?
Pretty long. Why'd you ask?
I heard there's a possibility of finding work here for 2 talented carpenters.
That depends on how talented they are.
I'd say they're talented enough.
We'll soon see. But go talk to the miller about it, all right?
Of course. Is the miller very strict?
The miller isn't, but his foreman doesn't give the workers anything for free, besides kicks and insults.
Well, hopefully that won't happen. They're good men.
I'll be happy if that's true. God bless.
Good day to you.
Is there any work here for carpenters?
Are they locals?
From Skalitz?
Then no. I only take in people I know.
What is it?
What do you want here? Hop it or I'll call the guard.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
Teresa, the millmaid, sent me. She said you could use some help.
Some extra pairs of hands would be useful. What do you have in mind?
My friends, 2 survivors of Skalitz, are looking for work.
And why should I take that?
They're experienced carpenters.
Why not? Carpenters would be helpful. There's a lot of work here at the mill, and I'm not as spry as I used to be. Thomas, my foreman, tries his best, but he ain't up to that kind of work. But they aren't idlers and drunks, are they? I only take in people who are willing to do hard, honest work.
They're good men, from Skalitz. Basically your neighbours. You have to help them.
That's God's own truth. Love thy neighbour as thyself. Tell them I'll give them a chance. We'll talk about pay and a roof over their heads when they get here.
Do you need any more help?
You can't afford to botch this job like you did last time, so pay close attention. We have some new brothers who are meant to help me with the wounded, but not all of them know their medicinal herbs as well as I'd hope. They'll have to be taught.
I'm not much of a teacher.
I should imagine not. But you won't be doing any teaching, just helping me put together our new herbarium. I shall need all of the herbs mentioned in the old one.
That sounds easy. I'll be right back.
Don't be so sure. Some of the herbs are shy little things, prone to hiding from sight. When you've collected one of each, come back for your reward. One more thing. Bring me some old book or other. We'll scrape off the old ink to make a palimpsest, and use the blank pages for the herbarium.
An old book. Very well. I've got those herbs you wanted.
Let me see if you have everything. Are you trying to waste my time?
Tell me more. All right.
I'm honoured that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
The miller and Ledechko would be happy to meet you.
You really found work for us?
Of course. I couldn't bear to look at those sour faces of yours a moment longer.
Thanks, Henry. Only...
What?
The reward we talked about, well, we haven't got 2 groschen to rub together.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. You'll pay me when you have it.
That we will. Stop by and visit us in a week. We'll pay you back as soon as we get our first wage.
I'd like you to teach me how...
Certainly.
I'd like to practice...
All right, but it'll... Now, pay close attention.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
The monastery wants you to pay for treatment. That doesn't sound right.
Leave it be, Howl.
I won't. What happened?
We might have pummeled his face. But don't get involved, Henry. We'll settle it on our own.
Wait, who exactly did you pummel?
Well, he kept on bothering us and... in a nutshell, it was his fault and we're not going to talk about it anymore.
But couldn't there be a way to settle it? Maybe he'd let you off the...
There isn't.
Well, don't be a twat, Fritz. The 2 of you are up to your necks in shit, and you're going to play tough instead of seeing sense.
Go to hell, Henry. You and Elias. You're one as bad as the other.
You're good for nothing, you wretch. I'm not the one who's jobless and almost dying of hunger.
Now you've done it.
Kuttenberg is far, far away. Kuttenberg is far, here I'll stay. My breath is short, my feet are sore. I'd buy a horse, but I am poor. The sun may burn, the sun may shine, but you will not wither, darling mine. Now, for the last time. The sun, he hides behind a cloud. His heat goes cold and his fire goes out. He drowned the fish and broke its neck, threw it down upon the deck.
Huh?
Are you serious?
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'm looking for pieces of a sword that a pilgrim from the Holy Land was selling. Would you happen to know anything about it?
I would. Of course I would.
Well?
It's a load of tripe. Only a fool would have given that trickster a single groschen, and I'm no fool. How about you?
But if he lied about that sort of stuff, it would be a terrible sin.
Don't be so gullible, lad. That bastard never saw the Holy Land, unless it was in a fresco.
Why is the blacksmith muttering nonsense to himself? Has he been in the sun too long?
Oh, that's nothing. Just a silly little rhyme for his work, to time it right.
Oh, I see. I thought he was delirious.
No, he's like that all the time.
The sun sets out across the skies. He loses his way, to the forge he flies.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I'm interested in your services.
And what is it you'd...
Get myself...
I'm sure you'll... God bless.
God save you. What can I do for you?
My respects to you.
Can you show me how to repair armour and weapons better?
Certainly.
Well, I'll think it over.
God be with you.
Huh. I know you. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from?
What?
Of course, my dream. You were in a boat made of bone, and I put a crown of thorns on your head.
All right. Tell me about this dream of yours.
That dream. Yes, that dream has come true. I dreamt that a young man would become my apprentice, my own pupil in the trade of miracles.
Oh, then I'm in luck.
On the contrary, I'm the lucky one. What's your name, young man?
Henry.
Henry. A powerful name. So, Henry, are you ready to become my apprentice?
First, tell me, who are you, and what do you do?
Me? I am an unworthy, low, and miserable servant of Providence. Scholar or merchant, believer or heathen, I wander the world without home or family, with only my wagon, offering miracles to those that need them. That's who I am. Without home or kin, I wander this world with my wagon, providing the miracles that people need. Ointments, relics, aromatic herbs, rare spices, talismans and amulets for luck. All these things I have.
What exactly does it entail, becoming your apprentice?
A lot of work and strenuous labor. Knowledge of medicine, theology, and white magic. You have to study the great works of the ancients and devote your time to understanding your fellow men, listening to them, and learn to read their souls.
That's a pretty challenging task.
That's why God has sent you. So what do you say?
All right, I'll be your apprentice.
Wonderful! Oh, glorious day! I have a successor in my work.
So, how do you plan to start training me?
With a test of your practical skills.
Oh.
I have my eye on 3 rare objects of great value. But sadly, they're a little difficult to obtain.
Go on.
First, I need a tooth of Saint Procopius. Then I'll need a branch from a topping out hung on a church. And finally, a talisman for luck from a passionate player.
Bloody hell, that's a lot. All right, one thing at a time. About that tooth, it's going to be slightly more complicated, isn't it?
I know. Yes, it would be very difficult to gain such a rare relic, of course. That's why I have an alternative solution.
I'm listening.
A layman named Procopius lives by the monastery, and it just so happens, thanks to my intricate medical knowledge, that I found out he has a sick tooth.
How did you find out he has a sore tooth?
As it happens, he told me at the tavern. But that's not important.
And how am I supposed to get the tooth?
I haven't the faintest idea. You'll have to think of something. But maybe you'll be able to persuade him to let the blacksmith pull it.
Wouldn't that be swindling people?
It is, and it isn't. If I sell that tooth as the tooth of Saint Procopius, then it certainly is deceitful. But if I sell it as a tooth from Procopius of Sasau, then I'm cheating nobody.
Does it really matter whose tooth I bring, then?
Of course it does. The name Procopius in this holy land is shrouded with mystical powers. Sometimes I might play a trivial trick on someone, but I assure you, I'm no swindler.
And how am I supposed to get the tooth?
I haven't the faintest idea. You'll have to think of something. But maybe...
Wouldn't that be swindling people?
It is, and it isn't. If I sell that tooth as the tooth of St. Procopius, then it certainly is deceitful. But if I sell it as a tooth from Procopius of Sasau, then I'm cheating.
Does it really matter?
Of course.
Fine. I'll...
Wonderful.
This topping out, what's that?
You're not a carpenter, it seems.
No, I'm a blacksmith.
I see. Well, a topping out is a decorated spruce or a conifer tree hung on top of the roof of a new house to bring good fortune and God's blessing.
Then all we need to do is break off a branch somewhere, buy a few ribbons, and we've got our own homemade topping out right there.
You don't understand, young man. The topping out was sanctified by a priest, and it hangs on the highest church far and wide. You can't just replace it with a decorated branch.
Fair enough. That topping off is hung pretty high, isn't it?
Naturally. It hangs on the rooftop according to tradition, and the church is tall.
And how am I supposed to get it down?
Damned if I know. But they had to get it up there somehow, didn't they?
Very well. I'll get it. This player's talisman. Where am I supposed to find it?
I actually have a specific one in mind. Here at the inn, there's a dice player who always has a cat's paw with him. That's supposed to bring him luck.
A cat's paw? I thought players bring along a rabbit's paw for luck.
I thought so too. But this man is winning one game after another, so cats are clearly even more powerful than rabbits.
Oh. How am I supposed to get the talisman from him?
I haven't a clue. It won't be easy, but I'm sure you'll find a way.
We'll see. Very well. I'll get you the paw. I'll get looking for those things then.
Excellent! You do that, my journeyman. Good luck.
I'm looking for a piece of the remains of St. Procopius.
Are you now? And who would that be for?
For a friend. He'd like to have something holy to treasure.
Quite a reasonable fellow. I have a piece of his finger bone.
And it's from St. Procopius?
Well, he was definitely a good fellow. Or at least not a bad one. And I believe his name even was Procopius.